You want to be starting with your nutrients as early as possible when it comes to cocoa, because cocoa lacks any sort of background nutrition, unlike an oil mix or a soil. The other key thing with any cocoa is that it contains a significant amount of sodium from the fact that they're grown near the sea and that salt water comes into contact with the cocoa. So the key things you do to overcome sodium is you can flush it out with water, but more useful than that is calcium. Calcium will flush out and counteract the effects of sodium. So will potassium and nitrogen. So using your base nutrients early on will help mitigate any effects of that. Apart from that, cocoa is a really good medium. It's nice and airy. I'd just make sure that you don't overdose. Always use the correct dose rates and then monitor your runoff EC. So if it goes above 2.0, you're in danger territory, and you want to be either flushing more fertilizer solution through there, or dialing it back. Often it's you've not actually given enough runoff. So you want to be, for everything you apply, say you add 10 litres, you want to be getting at least a litre of that coming out. And that's not actually, that litre won't be the litre that you applied, it's probably the litre that was already in there, but you flush further down. So that gets rid of things like sodium, gets rid of excess nutrients, because otherwise they would just be building up and building up and building up. So when you add 4 mils of the nutrients, the plant isn't absorbing 4 mils. So if you didn't flush a bit of that through each time, then you just get that building up and it would become generating osmotic stress that would pull liquid out of your plants and limit their yield. And so that's when people do flush, they see a response from the crop, and that's often because of that reason. The other key aspect of growing in cocoa is that while there will be a background level of microbes, just like there's a background level of microbes on this table, there aren't the soil-dwelling microbes, the plant growth promoting rhizobacteria that is in a soil. So if you went into a garden, got soil, those microbes would be there already. So that's why having the organic microbes is really useful, because it seeds that growing medium with the organic microbes, and then feeding them with the carbon base and the other carbon-based products like fish base and the organic boost. They all contain carbon. Not only is that feeding the plant, that's also feeding the microbes. And the key things with microbes is plants have been found to give 15% of their captured carbon from photosynthesis to the microbes in the soil. And they feed out sugars and they feed out other compounds, organic acids, to the beneficial microbes. And 15% of their photosynthetic activity goes towards that. And to put that into context, a plant will proportion 15% of its carbon to flowering and fruiting. So there you've got 15% to flowering and fruiting and 15% to beneficial microbes in the soil. So obviously flowering and fruiting is critical to the plant's life cycle and survival. But equally, that plant has evolved to decide that 15% to microbes is also as equally important. So getting a good microfauna around the root system is going to be crucial to not only to yield, but also to crop quality and resistance against pests and disease. And a lot of the time when it comes to things like mycorrhiza and beneficial microbes, you might not see a response in yield or even crop quality, but what you don't see is that plant actively resisting a plant pathogen, like damping off disease or something like that. So it's almost like a hidden benefit. Like we don't see the benefits of health and safety because you didn't fall off that ladder or you didn't die that week, but it doesn't mean it's not critically important to the function and the survival of that plant, or you operating in a warehouse or something like that.